Yiberek Adonai v'yishmerecha. Ha'er Adonai puna alecha v'chunecha. Yisa Adonai puna alecha v'yisim lecha. Shalom.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad, and you are to love Adonai your God with all your heart and all your being and all your resources. These words which I am ordering you today are to be on your heart, and you are to teach them carefully to your children. You are to talk about them when you sit at home, when you are traveling on the road, when you lie down, and when you get up. Tie them on your hand as a sign, put them at the front of a headband around your forehead, and write them on the door frames of your houses and on your gates. So if you listen carefully to my mitzvot, which I am giving you today, to love Adonai your God, and serve him with all your heart and all your being, then says Adonai, I will give your land its rain at the right seasons, including the early fall rains and the late spring rains, so that you can gather in your wheat, new wine, and olive oil. And I will give your fields grass for your livestock, with the result that you will eat and be satisfied. But be careful not to let yourselves be seduced so that you turn aside, serving other gods and worshiping them. If you do, the anger of Adonai will blaze up against you. He will shut up the skies so that there will be no rain. The ground will not yield its produce, and you will quickly pass away from the good land Adonai has given you. Therefore, you are to store up these words of mine in your heart and in all your being. Tie them on your hand as a sign. Put them at the front of a headband around your forehead. Teach them carefully to your children, talking about them when you sit at home, when you are traveling on the road, when you lie down, and when you get up. And write them on the door frames of your house and on your gates, so that you and your children will live long on the land Adonai swore to your ancestors that he would give them for as long as there is sky above the earth. Adonai said to Moshe, speak to the people of Israel, instructing them to make through all their generations zealot on the corners of the garments, and to put with the zizit on each corner a blue thread. It is to be a zizit for you to look at, and thereby remember all of Adonai's mitzvot and obey them, so that you won't go around wherever your own heart and eyes lead you to prostitute yourselves. But it will help you remember and obey all my mitzvot and be holy for your Adonai. I am Adonai your God, you who brought you out of the land of Egypt in order to be your God. I am Adonai your God. Who is like you, Adonai, among the mighty? Who is like you, sublime in holiness, awesome in praises, working wonders? Blessed are you, Lord our God, King of the universe, who has chosen us from among all the nations and given us his Torah. Blessed are you, Lord, who gives the Torah. When Abraham was 100 years old and Sarah was 90 years old, Isaac was born. Per the commandment concerning a Brit Milah, when Isaac was 8 days old, Abraham circumcised him. Upon Isaac turning 3 or 4 years of age, Abraham threw a great banquet. During the banquet, Ishmael, who was 16 or 17, mocked Isaac. Infuriated, Sarah demanded Abraham to expel both his firstborn and his concubine for this action. After instruction and a promise of blessing upon Ishmael was divinely revealed to Abraham, he sent his firstborn and concubine into the desert with provisions. At the moment of Hagar's desperation and despondency, Adonai revealed to her the location of water nearby. Ishmael grew up in the desert, becoming an archer. He thrived in the Paran desert. Around this time, King Abimelech of Gerar, along with his general Pichol, visited Abraham. They acknowledged that the God of heaven was with Abraham. As such, King Abimelech wanted to have an oath between him and Abraham that he would be treated well by Abraham and his son, along with his future grandson. This was because he had treated Abraham well. Though Abimelech was connected with Abraham, there was an issue that arose between them. Within Bodine life, water is vital. Typically, water comes from wells. A faction of Abimelech's servants had recently seized a hand-dug well which was used by Abraham's camp. Abimelech seemed to have sincerely had no knowledge of the theft until Abraham had made him aware of it. Because of this, Abraham gave Abimelech a portion of his sheep and cattle to establish an oath. This oath, in which Abimelech was to acknowledge that Abraham had dug the well, was witnessed between the two men and 7 female lambs from Abraham's flock. This oath yielded the area its name, Beersheba. After Abimelech and Pichol left to return to the land of the Philistines, Abraham thrived in the land of the Philistines for a time, during which he planted a tamarisk tree at Beersheba. In the 7th month, on the first day of the month, you are to have a holy convocation. Do not do any work, any kind of ordinary work. It is the day of blowing the shofar for you. Prepare a burnt offering to make a fragrant aroma for Adonai. 1 young bull, 1 ram, and 7 male lambs in their first year without defect. And with their grain offering consisting of fine flour mixed with olive oil, 6 quarts for the bull, 4 quarts for the ram, and 2 quarts for each of the 7 lambs. Also 1 male goat as a sin offering to make atonement for you. This is to be in addition to the burnt offering for Rosh Hashanah with its grain offering, the regular burnt offering with its grain offering, and their drink offerings according to the rule for them. This will be a fragrant aroma, an offering made by fire to Adonai. When Yitzhak was 20 years old, his father took him to the same mountain that Noah had gone after the great flood over 400 years prior. On this mountain, which would later be known as Mount Moriah, Abraham built an altar in the exact spot Noah did and almost sacrificed Yitzhak to the Eternal One when it was revealed to him that this was a test of his faith. After this, they returned and settled in Beersheba, and it was told to him that his brother Nachor had 8 sons by his wife and 4 by his concubine. That is Nachor's wife and concubine. In the 7th month, on the first day of the month, you are to have a holy convocation. Do not do any work, any kind of ordinary work. It is the day of blowing the shofar for you. Prepare a burnt offering to make a fragrant aroma for Adonai. 1 young bull, 1 ram, and 7 male lambs in their first year without defect. And with their grain offering consisting of fine flour mixed with olive oil, 6 quarts for the bull, 4 quarts for the ram, and 2 quarts for each of the 7 lambs. Also, one male goat as a sin offering to make atonement for you. This is to be in addition to the burnt offering for Rosh Hashanah with its grain offering, the regular burnt offering with its grain offering, and their drink offerings according to the rule for them. This will be a fragrant aroma, an offering made by fire to Adonai. Blessed are you, Lord of God, King of the universe, who has given us the Torah of truth and planted eternal life within us. Blessed are you, Lord, who gives the Torah. Blessed are you, Lord of God, King of the universe, who has chosen good prophets and was pleased with their words uttered with truth. Blessed are you, Adonai, who chooses the Torah, Moses, your servant, Israel, your people, and prophets of truth and righteousness. In 1102 BC, a Kohathite named Elkan ben Yarkam ben Elel ben Toka ben Zulf ben Elkan ben Makat ben Amasi ben Elkan ben Yoel ben Aresa ben Zaphana ben Taka ben Asir ben Abusafa ben Korach ben Yizar, the son of Kahat, the son of Levi. He lived in Ramah, modern day Al-Ram, in the tribal territory of Ephraim. He had two wives, Hannah and Peninnah. Peninnah had given him children and daughters. Hannah, however, was barren and was often bullied and mocked by Peninnah. The bullying was so bad that Hannah refused to eat. Elkan, being a loving husband, tried to comfort her. However, he could not understand her need and want to be a mother. With them being in Shiloh, Hannah made her way to the Mishkan, or tabernacle. Hannah's prayer was simple but a powerful one. She prayed for a son. That son would be dedicated to the King of the universe as a Nazir or Nazirite for life. Sitting in the doorway of the semi-permanent Mishkan in Shiloh was the 73-year-old Kohen HaGadol, or High Priest Eli. He saw Hannah praying but did not hear her. It was customary to pray aloud in a way that everyone within an earshot could hear your words. He believed her to be drunk and mumbling, which manifested in a scolding. "How long are you going to stay drunk? Stop drinking your wine." To this, Hannah responded, "No, my lord. I am a very unhappy woman. I have not drunk either wine or strong liquor. Rather, I have been pouring out my soul before Adonai. Don't think of your servant as a worthless woman, because I have been speaking from the depth of my distress and anger." Eli, realizing that Hannah was praying, blessed her. "Go in peace. May the God of Israel grant what you have asked of him." A time after Hannah and Elkan returned home, Hannah found that she was pregnant. Nine months later, Hannah's promised son was born. She and her husband named him Samuel. When it was his time to sacrifice again, Elkan went without Hannah at her request, "Not till the child has been weaned. Then I will bring him so that he can appear before Adonai and live there forever." According to tradition, this was around the same time that Yivakat brutally died in 1100 BC. It was also around that same time that his body was distributed to
Gilead. To give a context, also, Ibzan of Bethlehem attained possession of the staff of Moses as a judge, which Ibzan was the judge right after Ibzakat or Jephthah. By 1098 BC, Hannah took Samuel to Shiloh to fulfill what she had sworn to the King of the universe. She told Eli that this boy was the son she prayed for. As Hannah bowed out of respect to Eli, Shemuel, according to tradition, bowed as well. However, the 2 or 4-year-old did not bow out of respect to Eli, but he bowed down in front of the Mishkan entrance. It seemed, though, that even at his young age, he knew that the divine presence rested within the building beyond the veil. At seeing this action, Hannah prayed, "My heart exults in Adonai. My dignity has been restored by Adonai. I can gloat over my enemies because of joy at your saving me. No one is as holy as Adonai, because there is none to compare with you. No rock like our God. Stop your proud boasting. Do not let arrogance come from your mouth, for Adonai is God of knowledge, and he appraises his actions. The bows of the mighty are broken, while the feeble are armed with strength. The well-fed hire themselves for bread, while those who are hungry hunger no more. The barren woman has borne 7, while the mother of many wastes away. Adonai kills and makes alive. He brings down to the grave and he brings up. Adonai makes poor and he makes rich. He humbles and he exalts. He gives them a place with leaders and assigns them seats of honor. For the earth's pillars belong to Adonai. On them he has placed the world. He will guard the steps of the faithful. But the wicked will be silenced in darkness. For it is not by strength that a person prevails. Those who fight Adonai will be shattered. He will thunder against them in heaven. Adonai will judge the ends of the earth. He will strengthen his king and enhance the power of his anointed. A foreshadowing of Revelation 12. Jeremiah saw a vision in which he was told that those who survived the war would find refuge in the wilderness. These, though, are Israel, which was assured of his eternal love. Due to such love, the king continues to draw the devout to him from wherever they are. Furthermore, he will build and restore Israel. This will be followed by Israel's rejoicing. However, the prophecy of such a rejoicing is accompanied by a prophecy of destruction of children. Note, this was fulfilled when the holy innocents were massacred. Meanwhile, Ephraim has begun, according to Father David Kidner, to mourn for their sins. Blessed are you, Lord God, King of the universe, who has chosen good prophets and hast found pleasure in their words which were spoken in truth. Blessed are you, O Lord, who has chosen the Torah and Moses thy servant, and Israel thy people, and the prophets of truth and righteousness. Blessed are you, Lord God, King of the universe, who gave to us the Messiah Jesus and the commandments of the new covenant. Blessed are you, O Lord, giver of the new covenant. Christ warns against the rise of false prophets. He states the second advent will be sudden, just as his judgment will be sudden. Per Isaiah 13:10 and 34:4, Ezekiel 32:7, Haggai 2:6 and 21, and Joel 2:10, 3:4 and 4:15, the end will be marked by cosmic disturbances. All the pagans of the earth will mourn when they witness the second advent, which will be accompanied by a great shofar blast and angelic hosts. The saints, both devout Messianic Jews and devout Gentile Christians, will be summoned. If they are dead, they will be summoned from the depths, the graves, and the tombs. If they are living, they will be summoned from the earth. Furthermore, the second advent would come only at the timing of the Father. It is only when He says for the end to commence that it will occur. Therefore, the church must be ready at all times. He states that the Jewish nation, that is, the Jewish people, will continue to the end. Moreover, there will be 144,000 Jewish men who will serve in the millennial temple per Revelation 7. Furthermore, the remnant of Israel will convert to Messianic Judaism at the end. St. John now sees Christ crowned with crowns of royal authority, adorned in a blood-soaked robe. The blood might be the blood of his enemies, as Jameson and Foster and Brown suggest, or in his own blood, as Matthew Henry suggests. As the word of God rides upon his horse, St. John sees a vast army of saints dressed in white linen following behind him. As he passes by, St. John reads the words embroidered on his bloody robe, Melech HaMelechem, King of Kings. The sight of wings and flight returns the apostles' attention to the mid-heavens over the area where the Kidron Valley existed. The angelic being pronounces a haunting declaration to the terrestrial fauna. Come, gather together for the great feast God is giving, to eat the flesh of the kings, the flesh of generals, the flesh of important men, the flesh of horses and the riders, and the flesh of all kinds of people, free and slave, small and great. Revelation 19:17 through 18. With blazing eyes and a sharp sword surging from his mouth, Christ with his army charges upon the gathered forces of the beast and his 10 kings. Beast and the false prophet are taken prisoner and thrown into the Gehenna. The rest of the armies are slaughtered and become food for the terrestrial animals. Regarding the dragon, he is chained and thrown into the abyss by an angel who locks and seals the door. Blessed are you, Lord our God, King of the universe, who gave to us the word of truth and planted everlasting life in our midst. Blessed are you, O Lord, giver of the new covenant. This is the Torah which Moshe placed before the children of Israel. It is in accord with the command of Adonai by the hand of Moshe. A tree of life it is for those who take hold of it, and blessed are the ones who support it. Its ways are ways of pleasantness, and all its ways are peace. Long life is in its right hand, in its left hand are riches and honor. Adonai was pleased for the sake of his righteousness to render the Torah great and glorious. With a blast from your nostrils, the waters piled up. The waters stood up like a wall. The depths of the sea became firm ground. Then a king arose in Yeshurun. When the leaders of the people were gathered, all the tribes of Israel together. For the kingdom belongs to Adonai, and he rules the nations. All who prosper on the earth will eat and worship. All who go down to dust will kneel before him, including him who cannot keep himself alive. Adonai is king, robed in majesty. Adonai is robed, girded with strength. The world is well established. It cannot be moved. Your throne was established long ago. You have existed forever. Lift up your heads, you gates. Lift them up, everlasting doors, so that the glorious King can enter. Who is he, this glorious King? Adonai strong and mighty, Adonai mighty in battle. Lift up your heads, you gates. Lift them up, everlasting doors, so that the glorious King can enter. Who is he, this glorious King? Adonai of old. He is the glorious King. Thus says Adonai, Israel's King and Redeemer, Adonai of old. I am the first, and I am the last. Besides me there is no God. Then the victorious will ascend Mount Zion to rule over Mount Esau, but the kingship will belong to Adonai. Then Adonai will be king over the whole world. On that day Adonai will be the only one, and his name will be the only name.